Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video we are going to be talking about the best champions to ascend, at the very least in my opinion. Now obviously we're going to be focusing on the 6-star ascensions, and one of the guiding principles of that is the champions that do not exist as 7 stars, because you are much more likely not to get disappointed by pulling that 7-star champion shortly after if you already have ascended. Obviously, there are exceptions to that rule. For instance, I think, if you're doing Necropolis and if you like Shuri and if you don't have a 7-star Shuri and you don't necessarily plan on picking her from the selector, or if you don't plan on exploring it, I think Shuri is a fine ascension, because having a 6-star rank 5 ascended Shuri will still serve you fine for, at the very least, like next half a year, perhaps longer. So you do need to look at individual circumstances, but this would be a generic kind of suggestion list from each class that, well, personally are the champions that I would be looking at most likely or most closely to ascend. So let's move on to the science class, and that's Human Torch. I do think Human Torch is not coming as a 7-star anytime soon, and I do think he is a great candidate for suggestion alongside Scorpion. I think those two are the best science champions to ascend, because obviously Mystic class especially has a lot of those really tanky defenders, and even at this point, you often see, what's the best way to explain it, especially in Battlegrounds, when opponent has like a rank 2 Sasquatch, and he still feels fairly safe to drop it down if your torch is small. If it's like a rank 4, it's definitely not too intimidating anymore, because it still takes time because of the increase in health pools and resistances. And also 6-star rank 4 or 6-star rank 5 is taking plenty of, some chip damage. So I do believe that Scorpion and Human Torch are prime candidates for ascension in science class, both of them. And yeah, I also don't really expect any of them to come as 7 stars. In skill class, I think it's quite obvious. We have Kingpin, which I think is one of the best targets for ascension overall also. Just great everywhere across the board. My second ascension, my first one was Hercules, and I do not regret that one bit. And then we have Kate Bishop. Kate Bishop also is this perfect target for ascension if you could potentially use her in Necropolis, because obviously she's very good in there. And then she gets a lot scarier in BGs also. So for the skill class, we have Kingpin, Kate Bishop. None of them are available as 7 stars at the moment, and both of them do benefit from it greatly. Additionally, we have Nick Fury, because again, Nick Fury is just one of those champions that pretty much on the defense in every Battlegrounds meta all the time. Like Nick Fury, I could guarantee you, is one of the most fought against champions in Battlegrounds, period. If you have Awakened Nick Fury, you're putting him in the deck, you're putting him on the defense, and you're enjoying the fact that he can be quite tricky as a defender by himself, but then on top of it all, there is that extra life, and, he just does well. I have fought Nick Fury so many times. I have had some perfect fights that I'm very happy with. So many times this guy just, refuses to throw level 2 recently and completely wrecks me. Happens, but he definitely is a solid target there as well. And then the final champion that's atop of the skill class, wasn't mentioned yet, is Valkyrie. I do think Valkyrie is also up there. If you enjoy her, I think she's a solid pick. Going on to the mutant class, Archangel is kind of similar principle to Human Torch, where Archangel used to be like this bane where, when it was primarily rank 3 and rank 4 champions, Archangel kind of almost went an auto victory. But now when you see a lot of like rank 4 or even rank 5 Archangels going up against 7-star rank 2s and potentially 7-star rank 3s, he can be outpaced. And that takes away a lot from him, because obviously Archangel is not the most versatile attacker. Archangel isn't like Kingpin or Titania that you can use like across all the classes and stuff like that, and you're gonna do well. You do have your limitations with Archangel in which matchups you can bring him in. If he's not big enough and if he's not fast enough, then he kind of loses his purpose of being in the deck, because his role always has been where if you have an Archangel target, you're going to be faster than your opponents. That's not the case anymore at the moment. And I do think taking your Archangels to rank 5 and ascending obviously is a solid pick. Don't think we're going to see a 7-star one quite soon, so I do recommend that. And then similar to Omega Red as well. Omega Red, the speed, the spore damage is quite important to him, and Ascension does help with that as well. Not to mention the fact that Omega Red is one of those champions where you would want to take him to 200 before, or close to it, before you start properly using the character. And therefore, I think those are the best options in the mutant class. And in tech class, you obviously have Ghost. Now, needless to say, Ghost has become somewhat of a more acquired taste. Some people, still love and use her all the time. Some people kind of avoid her unless she's like really, really meta compatible. But there's no denying that Ascended Ghost is quite a scary nuke champion to go up against in virtually every meta. Therefore, I also do think that she's one of the best possible targets for Ascension. And then in tech class, we have Future Ant-Man. Future Ant-Man, after his bug fix, has been an absolute bane on defense. And that is already like a massive thing. And obviously, he's also a solid attacker. So I think he's probably the most ascended tech champion currently from what I have seen. And I'm not too surprised. Then we also have Nimrod that doesn't exist as a 7-star. I think with Nimrod, it's not quite as crucial or helpful as it is with Ghost and Future Ant-Man, but Nimrod also makes a lot of sense. People do underestimate Nimrod and his stalling abilities on defense also. And then obviously offensively, now that rank 3 7-star dominoes are starting to appear, so on and so forth, you might want to look at that. And Cosmic Class, we have lots of great targets for Ascension because most of the great Cosmic champions have been gate kept at 6-star level thus far. I think Hulkling has been one of the most popular Cosmic Ascensions for sure, and that's because Hulkling is a monster. He really is. He often works in metas where he shouldn't. He's tough on defense without a good counter. He's crazy good in attack. He does a really wide variety of matchups. And yeah, I think, Hulkling is a very solid target for Ascension. So is Galen. Galen perhaps technically more so than Hulkling because he really benefits more from the extra stats and extra harvest damage. But overall, at this point, if we initially always said that Hulkling and Galen are kind of like going neck to neck, I still remember doing my ranking videos basically saying they're kind of interchangeable, they're both amazing, and they're all this. I think Hulkling has kind of run away with it, despite the odds perhaps, because you see Galen less, you use Galen less, I use Galen less. Pretty much everybody that knows, yeah, Galen's cool and Galen's awesome and we all love him, but Hulkling is more so. Still, I do think that Galen's a great target for Ascension. Then we have CGR, again, something that I do not think we're going to see as a 7-star, and if your CGR isn't the rank 5 or isn't ascended, at this point with the higher rarity levels, basically can get outpaced quite frequently. One of my favorite things to do is to drop like a rank 2 Killmonger on the defense, and then opponents try to nuke him with like a rank 4, rank 5 CGR, and never that fast. It seems like a perfect matchup. It seems like exactly the type of fight CGR, would smash, but no. And then you can just, bring in Titanium and destroy some Mystic quicker or something. And it's one of those things. And if you ascend your CGR, then you don't have to worry about that as much. You'll be, significantly faster then. And then we have Hercules, which I ultimately think is the best target for Ascension overall, just because Hercules is like cheat code in everywhere in the game. He's great in Alliance War attack. He's very good and versatile in battlegrounds, both offensively and defensively. And this is kind of also the funniest thing. You can kind of tell how well somebody understands battlegrounds based on how they look at Hercules as a defender. And this is without any shades trying to be thrown at people who leave kind of like nasty comments on my videos. But every time I say that Hercules is a very good battlegrounds defender, I get several people commenting, Hercules sucks, this champion nukes him, that champion nukes him, he's super easy to fight, there's nothing to it, and stuff like that. And yeah, he's not super hard to fight, but in the top tier battlegrounds, it's always more about time than it is about, difficult to fight. For instance, Hercules is 1,000,000 times better defender than Annihilus, because Annihilus is probably going to knock down. Hercules, however, has that Infuriate that you probably will get placed on you, that will mess with your offensive abilities, that will, slow you down considerably. At least it does many champions. And then there is the Immortality that you need to dance around. Then there's the fact that you can't, keep knocking him down and keep parrying, and that kind of can complicate things. And ultimately, Hercules is one of those champions that stalls fights out extremely well, and that's super valuable. So there we go. Hercules is very good offensively, defensively in Battlegrounds. In Alliance War, obviously the best AQ champion, and I suspect, will be one of the, if not the best questing champions for a very long time. So definitely ascend that guy. Maestro is a separate subject. So Maestro is like the only champion that exists as a 7-star that is included in this list, and he is a very, very potent defender, right? Here's the thing. Everybody can get the 7-star Maestro. Not many will. And this is pending what you plan on doing. If you plan to 100% Necropolis, obviously don't rank 5 and ascend your 6-star. Just go for the 7-star. Eventually we're going to get the Awakening Gems, or eventually we're going to get another chance to earn him, but whatever. And he's perfectly viable on defense and Awakened. Now, if you don't plan on doing your Necropolis 100% anytime soon, I do think there's absolutely nothing wrong with taking your Maestro to rank 5 and even ascending it. Because currently he's a crazy good defender. He has been such a cheat code in Battlegrounds. And on top of it all, when you ascend him, he's also actually quite decent attacker. Yeah, he doesn't have the most amount of utility, but, in between his immunities, his burst of damage, and a few other things, I have used him already, like the 7-star rank 1 on offense, and, he did fine, he did solid. It was like a 60-second fight, but, wasn't half bad. So yeah, I do think Maestro is one of the options too. Then we have Zorbiman, which I think is probably the best Ascension target in Mystic class, because we don't have a 7-star. He's exactly the type of champion that benefits from the Ascension, both offensively and defensively, and obviously he's one of the top Mystic champions. So there we go. Tigre is also a premium candidate for Ascension, and Rintra, because all of these are top tier, top game Mystic champions. None of them are available as 7-stars, and they are, used extremely frequently. Right, so here we are. Those are the best 6-star champions to ascend, in my opinion. And I'm going to catch you guys later. Bye-bye. Hello there, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information